So I want to take a little bit of the mysticism, the magic away, and replace it with a little bit of clarity. The talk is about Olam Haba. In order to get to Olam Haba, I'm going to have to spend a few minutes talking about Olam Haza. You can't know what the world to come is, I think, until you properly understand a short version of this world and a short version of the understanding of the Rabbeinu Shloim, of God, so that we can understand. So we have three things that need to be explained: God, this world, and the next world. The goal is the next world. If we do a proper introduction of God in this world, then the next world thing will become clear with minimal amount of talk. I won't spend 30 minutes talking about Olam Haba. Olam Haba, at the end of the talk, it'll just click into place, I think, and by laying the proper groundwork. Let me just start with a quick overview of the way. I think the shortest way to say this. Normally I do this in 4 shiurim, and Olam Haba is the 4th shiur. I'm going to do the first 3 shiurim very quick in a synopsis. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. The most important phrase in Yiddishkeit. The way we translate Shema Yisrael is most people look at Shema Yisrael as the lesson of Shema Yisrael is monotheism, that there is one God. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. I think that that's a big mistake. There's 2 different sentences. They're very similar, but they mean very different things. If I say that there is one God, Hashem Echad, that there is one God, what does that mean? That there's one God, not 2. There's not multiple gods. But Shema Yisrael doesn't say that there is one God. Hashem Echad says that God is one. Now most people just go on autopilot, they assume it's the same thing. God is one, there is one God, it's the same words, a different order, but it's not. They have radically different meanings. When you say that there is one God, you mean that there's one God, not more than one, not many. What does it mean when you say that God is one? Translate that. What does it mean? How do you is one? Not there is one of him, he is one. In Machshavas Yisrael, in our thought, this is the foundation of Yiddishkeit, something that we call Achdusai, the unity of God. The unity of God doesn't mean that there is one God. It means much larger, that God is one. What does it mean to is one? Unique is part of it, but unique is not one. It's many, and this one's different. He's oneness itself. He is one. What is one? So here's my short mashal. This is not meant to be a whole class. This is a teaser. Okay? My mashal is I used a puzzle as a metaphor. A puzzle has 3 stages. The 3 stages of a puzzle are: there's the cover of the puzzle box. It's a beautiful picture. I don't know, a duck on a pond with ripples and mountains. That's stage 1. Then you take that beautiful picture, you put it through a machine, and you cut it up into 500 pieces. That's called stage 2, fragmented. And then we come in, stage 3. We buy the puzzle, we put all the pieces back together again, we make it the way it's supposed to be. That's stage 3. This simple idea of a puzzle is, I think, the best way, really, the simplest way to understand an unbelievably deep understanding of Hashem and the nature of the universe. When we say that Hashem is Echad, we mean He's oneness. Hashem to the world is the cover of the puzzle box. Hashem is Echad. Echad means He's not that there's one God, but He's one itself. He's where everything fits. What's the world then? We call the world Hester Panav, the hiddenness of Hashem. It's Pirud. Hiddenness. You see, if Hashem is oneness, if you're intelligent, so what is the hiddenness of intelligence? Is to act foolish. If you're strong, what's the hiddenness of strength? Is weakness. If you're oneness, what is the hiddenness of oneness? Multiplicity, diversity, disunity. So Hashem is Echad, He's the cover of the box. The world is the hiddenness of Hashem. What is the hiddenness of oneness? Disunity, fragmentation. This world is Hashem with the unity hidden. We call it Pirud, Mefurad. Everything's divided. So you have Hashem is the cover of the box, and we're the pieces of the puzzle. So then, what is our job? We say before every mitzvah, L'shem yichud kudshu, l'yachid shemai, to make everything one again, to put it all back together again. Our job in life is to assemble the pieces. When we put things back together again, what are we experiencing? Hashem. When you put the pieces of the puzzle back together, you sing the echad. Our job is l'yachid shemai, to make oneness in the bria. What I wanted to show you here at stage one is how easy it is to taste this, to see it literally. If Hashem is the cover of the box, and this world is the pieces, so we're all fragments. Every single thing you see is a piece of the puzzle. When we put it back together again, we're experiencing Hashem. Now, it doesn't mean that we see the whole Hashem. But when you have a man and a woman who are thinking, they go on a shidduch and they become one, they get married, and they become an echad, so they a little more of Hashem it's an echad, it's closer to Hashem. It's taking two pieces of the puzzle, two little yellow pieces, now you made a duck. There's still a lot to do, but you're closer, you're seeing more of Hashem. There's such a thing as getting a better, a wider and wider picture of the Achdus. We're ma'achid more and more. There are people who are good at certain types of Achdus, not other types of Achdus. I'll show you that now. The way you can test this is very powerful, is that Hashem is everything. And the world is divided. It's not Hashem. We don't see Hashem. When we put the pieces together, we experience Hashem. I want to show you that every single experience of simcha is the experience of oneness. Simcha, pleasure, is the experience of putting pieces back together again. I'm going to show you. We're going to do it fast. This is really its own class. But I always try and bite off more than I could chew. I hope we get everything in over here. There are 7 ways that human beings experience the universe. It's my number. What are the 7 ways? We know 5. We see things, we taste them, we smell them, we touch them, we hear them. 5 senses. Are those the only ways that we receive information? How else do human beings experience the world besides the 5 senses? We think, it's not a sense, and we also feel. So we have thoughts, emotions, and actions. The actions are 5. Smell, taste, touch. So I make it neat, I call it 7 ways that we experience the world. Every one of these stimuli, these 7 ways, experiences positive and negative experiences. I have pleasurable thoughts and painful thoughts, pleasurable tastes and painful tastes, pleasurable feelings and painful. Let's go through them each quickly, and let's see if we could find the pattern of what makes something pleasurable. So what is eye pleasure? What do my eyes enjoy? My eyes like when things match. My eyes like when things blend. My eyes like when things are, what we like patterns. Anyone ever study the philosophy of art? You know what is considered universal beauty? What's the philosophy of beauty? What is even a child attracted to? What does a child consider beautiful? He has no training. What is instinctually considered beautiful? Anyone study this? Symmetry, beautiful. Symmetry is with 2 eyes are lined up and they're the same size as the nostrils. Everything's lined up, it's balanced. A window here and a window here and a door in the middle and a column and nothing. Symmetry. What is the common denominator? If I were to ask you, I'll give you a list of words. Blending, matching, pattern, symmetry. What do they all have in common? They're all experiences of oneness. Blending is that things fit. Matching is they match. Patterns are where it's not disconnected points. It flows. Symmetry. All eye pleasure is the experience of oneness. If you see something that makes you happy, it's because it's one. What do we not like? When the pattern's broken, when things clash, when they don't match, when things don't fit. Let's go through the ears. What are your ears like? Our ears like harmony. Our ears like rhythm. Right? What is rhythm? What is harmony? They're the audible experiences of oneness. We don't like when the sounds are off. We don't like when the rhythm is broken. Rhythm is something that ties together all the pieces. The same thing with tastes, and the same things with smells. A chef is trying to accomplish in the kitchen with his different ingredients the same thing the painter is trying to do with his colors. He's taking I'll skip really and just show you that every single person in the world is doing the exact same thing with their lives. It's an unbelievable thing. The painter is sitting in front of a canvas with his paint and his palette. And his goal is to take the colors in his palette and create a unified masterpiece, a harmonized entity. The musician is doing the exact same thing with his life. He sits with it during his days, and the only thing that varies is instead of having colors on his palette are notes. And his goal is to combine these notes into one harmonized masterpiece. And the chef does the same thing. The difference is the chef is using ingredients, not notes or colors. And the perfume maker is doing the same thing with scents. There are colleges, I'm sure, in France where they learn that lilac goes with lavender but doesn't work with lilies, and things work. There's things that synthesize and things that harmonize and things that clash. Everyone's trying to do the same thing. These are the senses, but then the other parts are even more obvious. What are pleasurable emotions? Friendship, love, brotherhood, compassion, empathy, acceptance, caring, sharing. What are negative emotions? Division, fighting, loneliness, separation, division, fighting, rejection. Every single pleasure in the world is the experience of oneness, and every pain is the experience of disunity. It's a mind-blowing thing. The brain. What is brain pleasure? Logic, order, truth, justice, fairness. What is brain pain? When things don't fit, when things are imbalanced, when it's unjust, when there are gaps in reasoning, when things are in fear. Look at what we've discovered here. That every single time in your life that you ever smiled or felt warm or good, it's because you just experienced oneness. And every single time you felt pain, physical, emotional, intellectual, any pain you felt is because you just experienced a taste of division and isolation and separation. Basically, the existence of pleasure and pain is a reflection to the experience of Hashem. The experience of pleasure is based on the idea that there's an echad. When you say pleasure, what you're really meaning is I am experiencing echad. All pleasure is echad, and all pain is period. It's a crazy. I use this as when I talk to atheists. I tell people you're not an atheist. You think you're an atheist? You're a religious fanatic. From the moment you're born to the moment you die, you've never done anything but chase pleasure. And what did we just demonstrate? That what is pleasure? Oneness. And what is oneness? And the Jewish Hashem is oneness. So you spend your entire life every moment chasing pleasure, chasing oneness, which is Hashem, and you say you're an atheist. You're a fanatic. You've never taken a break for a second from God. If you didn't believe in God, what would a Jewish version of an atheist be? An atheist, meaning if you don't believe in God. So what are you not believing in? Pleasure. And if you don't believe in oneness, then there's no pleasure. How do you have pleasure? Pleasure, the premise of pleasure is that there's oneness. If there's no oneness, there's no pleasure. Someone who doesn't believe in oneness, you cannot believe in oneness. I can believe the world's random, but I'll never then go to a restaurant because I'm not going to spend money assuming that someone can come. Nothing combines. The idea that someone knows how to put it together means it goes together. I'm spending money on it. It means that I believe he's going to do it. Yeah.
So how do you understand Picasso?
Oh, okay, so good. So good. Because
these are atheists.
So listen. So that's why I do it 4 classes. People then come asking. I just did a pretty good job of showing this, but there are things that sound like exceptions. So he gave one example. I'll answer your example, but I have 5 answers. His question is modern art. Here you have a pleasure that's not unity, it's not symmetry, it's not balance, right?
It's not a pleasure.
Okay, so I have 5 answers. So right, good. That's answer number 1. So I have five answers to the modern art question. You heard the question? Like there are a lot of questions. Like I normally do a whole segment of the class. I ask people, what are the exceptions in your mind to it? Because if I could prove what I just told you, that there's no atheist. Everyone's a religious fanatic. Not only that, before I answer you, let me just wrap up this part of the talk, and then I'll answer you and then go weiter. But the way I wrap it up is, I like to show like this. People think that there's a disconnect between science and religion. It's not based on understanding Hashem in this way. What is the premise of science? What are scientists dedicating their life to? What are they searching for?
Explanation.
The understanding, the ultimate understanding how everything fits. They're looking for the unified field theory, the global understandings. The scientist is looking for what?
Explanation.
Oneness. He's looking for the unity. He's looking for God. Everyone's the same. The musician is looking for oneness in notes. The painter in colors. The chef in tastes. The shadchanim and people looking for relationships are doing it in personalities. How to connect. We're looking for friendships and shidduchim and love and marriage. And mathematicians and scientists and economists, they're doing it using the facts and the phenomena of the universe. I want to make everything fit. The scientist is taking all the data and trying to look for the unified. These are the rabbis, they're the priests. A scientist is to dedicate his life to searching for Hashem. The prerequisite to science is that there's an echad and I'm going to find him. They just don't know it, they just call it something different. An atheist believes in randomness. The belief that there's an echad, that's Yiddishkeit. The word God is not a Hebrew word. The Torah's word for God is what? Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Your mitzvah is to believe in the echad. If you believe in an echad, you're mekayim your mitzvah of emunah. There's an echad. And anyone who experiences pleasure or pain believes in echad. We all worship echad. I'll give one other example because people ask me then, like, so why do people fight with other people? Why do people take revenge? There's a joy in taking revenge. Where's the echad? Right? So, where's the unity? So the answer is a simple answer in that. The answer is that unity, we just showed you, there are a lot of different versions of unity. There's not one thing called unity. In America today, I say the word unity, people think group hug. You know, group, that's unity. That's one type of unity. Cholent is echad. There's a science to it. Right? Too much barley or too many beans. You have to have the right amounts. Everything, pizza is a symphony. It's all, there's different types of unity. There's taste unity and there's emotional unity. There are many different versions of echad. So why is there pleasure in taking revenge on somebody? Someone cuts me off in traffic and I get out and I crowbar his window. Okay? It's a New York thing. You ever did it?
Nope.
You've thought about it.
Nope.
You've mellowed. You used to think about it. Okay. Whatever it is. I thought about it. Okay? And I smile when I think about it. Why? Why? I'm fragmenting the glass. There's no unity, right? So what's the answer? The answer is that revenge is the experience of justice. A minute ago, he did something, he got away with it. Now I broke his window, now we're even. Justice is the intellectual experience, is unity of the brain. What love is to your heart, justice is to your brain. The pleasure you get in punishment, it might be wrong to take revenge because that's Hashem's job. If you trusted Hashem, who's more creative, you or God? So if you want him to get even, let Hashem do it. Right? So it's not my job. It's Hashem's job to make things even. But the pleasure of justice is unity. It's not this emotional, feel-good unity, but it's also unity. So the exceptions, the things that don't fit, every pleasure is echad. Even things that sound mean. You're doing it, you took revenge because it felt good, and it felt good because he created justice. A minute ago, the world was out of whack, and now everything's back, everything fits, everything's back to where it should be. It's nice and neat, and therefore it felt good because you experienced oneness. Now modern art. How does modern art fit in? What's modern art? Why is modern art pleasurable? So I have 5 answers. They're all very, very different. They're meant for different people. The right-wing Rush Limbaugh fans here will like answer number 1. And answer number 1 is the answer. His question is that if I'm saying all pleasure is oneness, so then how can modern art cause pleasure? It's not about symmetry, it's random lines. So answer number 1 is modern art is not pleasurable. It's a lie. And everyone's too insecure to admit that they don't get it. So everyone looks at it and they go, oh, it's so beautiful. Yeah. And really you go like, I have no idea. Like. So that's answer number 1. Answer number 1 is the entire thing is a sham. And if you were more insecure, it's the emperor's new clothes. And no one has the guts to be the one to say, I don't get it. Because then they look at you with that like condescending look, like you shallow simpleton, you know? And nobody wants that look, you know? I live in academia, so I'm used to that look, and I know how to look right back and say, yeah, so explain it to me, genius. You know? And then they start to look like a little mixed up, and I don't back down until they go, well, I'm sure someone understands it. You bring him here, I'll wait. Okay? Anyways. Okay, so what's answer number 2? Answer number 2 is that there is an experience of pleasure in modern art, but when you hear people talk about it, it is experience of unity. It's not the visual experience of unity in the artwork. What is it? It's the emotional connection to the artist. I feel so understood. He gets me. You know, that kind of thing. I feel like we're on the same page. So that you could have a unity, a connection to the artist. There is a oneness where we understand each other. The lines aren't one. It's not a visual echad, it's an emotional echad. Answer number 3 is a very deep answer. All these answers are true for different pieces of art. Answer number 3 is, I like it sounds deep. I don't know if it's true, but it sounds deep, and that makes it worth something. Answer number 3 is that there are things in the world that are asymmetrical. There is suffering and loneliness and pain. There are things in the world that are broken. So what is a painting of asymmetry? The perfectly captured painting of the brokenness of the world is going to be asymmetrical. The symmetrical representation of asymmetry is going to be asymmetrical. If you're going to perfectly capture brokenness, that's going to be a picture that's out of whack. So a lot of modern art is the attempt to capture the randomness, the brokenness, the disruption in the world. And that these pictures are symmetrical representations of asymmetry. Okay? Okay, like you're starting to get on board? Okay, very good. Okay. I'll give you one more answer. This is not, can I go weiter? Or you want all the answers? There's so much more to the class. This is just Olam Haba. We gotta go to Olam Haba. We have 6,000 years to cover, and we only did the first 6 days. Okay, it's not moving at a good clip. Okay, can I go weiter? You got the unity thing it's really cool. Afterwards, you can think of all your exceptions. What's the pleasure of kicking over a sandcastle? What's the thrill of jumping out of an airplane? There are many pleasures where it's hard to see the unity. The answers are all more beautiful than the questions. The truth of the world is that all pleasure is unity, because Hashem is echad. My mashal is the puzzle. The Sifrei Kodesh have a much better puzzle, much better mashal. It's a little more involved, but I'll tell you the mashal in passing. But it's not my mashal. The Kabbalah uses mashal. It's the same as the puzzle. Hashem is white light. White light is light. It's white. You don't see colors. It's considered oneness. You take the white light and you put it through a prism, and it divides into all the colors of a rainbow. So that would be the mashal. Hashem is echad. He's the white light. The act of creation is hiding the oneness, fragmenting light. So the bria would be the rainbow. This is the rainbow. All these different colors. What's our job? Our job is to combine all the colors into a masterpiece, to create a symphony, harmony. So you have 3 stages. You have Hashem is unity, then you have Pirud, and then you have harmony. Our job is to harmonize the world. Pleasure is the experience of assembling the pieces, combining the colors. This is that would be shir number 2 I would give. I was doing an order. The first talk is unity. The second talk is the distinction between unity and harmony. I just said enough to see there's a difference in the words. They're very different. They're both oneness. Unity is white, and harmony is a symphony. It's a lot of colors. They're opposite approaches to echad. Everyone understands how white is echad, and everyone also understands how all the colors in a masterpiece are also echad. That are so different. One is 400 colors, and one is 1 color. But they're both echad, because one is unity and one's harmony. In Torah, in Kabbalah, we call this Hashem and Elokim. Hashem, Yud Kei Vav Kei, is the white, and Elokim is the plural name, is the echad of the pratim. This bria is the experience of Elokim, of a world where Hashem reveals himself. There is echad in this world, but an echad of pratim, and that's the echad that we experience. We experience Hashem, Elokeinu, Hashem echad. They're both echad, Hashem and Elokeinu. But that's my world. So now here's the second part of the talk. What makes unity pleasurable? Why should unity be pleasurable? Is it a magical thing that oneness is pleasurable? So let me show you why oneness is pleasurable. What is happening when you combine things? Can you figure out what? I don't know how to ask this question in a way that's going to lead you into this answer. I'm going to try it anyway. But sometimes the secret is to find the right question. The fact that I combine things makes me feel good. Why is that?
There's no discord.
So that would get rid of pain, What would make it pleasurable? What am I creating? I'm combining things. So really, it's something that's so much more simple. The fact that unity causes pleasure means the following, a simple thing, that what really causes pleasure? You know what really causes pleasure? Just being. Existence is good. The problem is that every single thing is a piece of existence. This is blue. Blue is nice. And green is nice. When I combine blue and green, now I have nice and nice. When I add red, I have nice, nice, nice. Oranges taste good and apples taste good. If I figure a way to have an orange apple, now I have double. If the world is fragmented, so every single thing is a chelik of existence. It's a chelik elika. It's a prat. The more pratim, the more the pleasure is. The more parts that I can assemble. If you have a symphony, the more instruments, the better. The more things I bring in, the more variation, the more voices in the choir, the more harmony. It's because the real experience of pleasure is existence. Hashem is totality. And it's fragmented. And my goal is to experience as much of Hashem as possible. So now let me switch over to talk. Here's how I do it now. I'm going to talk about Hashem in the deepest way, using the simplest terms. I want you to follow me. And the fact that I'm using childish terms shouldn't make me lose anyone. It's just, you'll see. Sometimes the clearest things are, the secret is trying to make things simple, that people can get it like that. But I'm going to say something, I think it's a big chiddush, until you hear it, and then you go, wow, it's simple. I'm going to use the most childish words I can. Don't think too deep. If you think I'm saying something deep, you're not understanding me. I'm saying very, very childish, simple things. I don't know how to talk about Hashem. The safest way to talk about Hashem is unlimited. We say Ein Sof, because you can't limit Hashem. Hashem is everything. So let's use a very safe word. Everything means that there's nothing He's not. Einoid milvadoi. He's Hakoil. Ein Sof. So let's call Hashem everything. If Hashem is everything, what am I? Let's define me. Let's go in order. Am I everything? Can we prove that I'm not everything? How can you prove I'm not everything? Because there's room for other people. How is everything? Nobody else could fit in the room. Right? It's very simple. I'm not everything. Is that clear to you? Is it proven that I'm not everything? Okay. Question number 2. Am I nothing? Can you prove that I'm not nothing? Is it clear to you I'm not nothing? I'm talking, you hearing me? I'm not nothing. You could be dreaming, but I'm something. I'm a dream, whatever it is. So I'm not everything, I'm not nothing. Here's the facts we have right now. Hashem is everything. I am not everything, but I'm not nothing. So if I'm not everything, and I'm not nothing, what am I?
Something.
Very deep. You got me? Okay, good.
Part of everything.
So, something. Okay, good. So Hashem is everything, and I am, okay. Everything I said now is totally clear. There's no way to argue. I'm not everything, I'm not nothing, I'm something. Hashem is not something, He's everything. Next step. What is the relationship of something to everything?
Part of it.
Something is part of everything. You with me so far? Right? Everything includes all the somethings. All the somethings fit into the everything, right? Clear? Now here's where it gets a little deeper, but it's still very simple. If I wanted to say that something, me, I say the sense, I want to experience Hashem. I want a relationship to Hashem. All these kind of phrases. I want to connect to Hashem. So let's change our words. Something wants to experience everything. How much of everything is available to the something? How much of everything can something experience? Can something experience everything? Can I get a taste of everything? How much of everything is available to something? Something, right? I'll give you a mashal. You have a pie of pizza. Okay, we divide into 8 slices. So the pie is the everything, the slice is the something. How much of everything can each slice experience?
1/8.
1/8. Something. So when I say that I, something, want to experience everything, what is the everything that's available to me? I want everyone to have that one click. In one moment, there's a click. What is my experience of everything? What is the everything? If I say I want to experience Hashem, totality, what is the part of Hashem that's shaykh to me?
Your part.
Me. So when I say I want to experience Hashem, what am I saying?
You want to experience yourself.
Do you hear that? My experience of Hashem, my slice of everything. What of everything can I have? My slice. So my experience of the Rabbeinu Shalom is the experience of what? Of my life. Any part of my life that I miss is a chelek eleka that was shaykh to me that I lost. My job is to be everything in my power, not to leave any of me on the table. When I sit by a table and I'm spaced out and I don't want to pay attention, I sit on my iPad or I'm sitting texting or I'm sitting playing a game and I'm missing out. Every moment I'm missing out on the chilek of existence. Hashem's huge, Hashem's everything. I can't experience everything. I get a small slice of everything, 120 years of everything. With my skills and my life, I have a slice of the pie. But I don't automatically get it, I have to experience it. The purpose of Olam Haba, of this life, is for me to experience my life and not to leave any of my life on the table. Any moment of my life that I miss is a chelik of Hashem that was shaykh to me. If you need it to be mystical, you'll call it you're being moichek Hashem. Who would erase Hashem's name? We spend our lives erasing Hashem's name. Hashem keeps on doling out to me every day a new chelik of Him, and I sit in there erasing it as quickly as I can. We have thousands of tools to erase things. So Hashem is totality. Olam Haba is every one of us is a slice of the pie. And it's my job, my goal, my job. I can do it, I don't have to do it. The best thing I can have is to experience as most as possible. I get a little slice. It makes sense. I want to experience pleasure. How much of the pleasure can I have? How much of Hashem can I have? So what does it mean? It means to use your arms and your legs and your mind and your heart. And it means your sisters and your brothers and your parents and your neighbors and your chavrusas and your friends. Every guy, person you decide you'll never talk to again, there's a chilek leika that's lost to you. Every meal that you had that you didn't even notice you were eating is lost. This is why we make brachas on every single moment, and there's a mitzvah for everything. It's to sit there and to gather your thoughts. Every moment in time we make kiddush. You know what kiddush is? Kiddush says, don't miss this moment. Stop before every event. You mekadesh zman. If Hashem is everything, so what does kedusha kadesh mean? What makes something godly? Hashem is existence, total existence. So kedusha is to exist. When I'm being kadesh. Tumah is to be curled up into a little ball and hiding. Someone who's ata kadosh, ukadoshim b'chol yoim. People who are being, Hashem, you're total being. A kadosh is someone who's being. The person who's vibrant and alive, and his eyes are on fire, and he wakes up early in the morning. He's a kadosh. If we believe that Hashem is reality, so what is Kiddush Hashem? We think artificial things. I say these words. Maybe people say them. What is the proclamation that Hashem is real? That Hashem is the world is godly. You know what says the world's godly? The person who wakes up early in the morning with fire is screaming to the world that Hashem is here. The person who's curled up with their little ball and hiding is saying there's no Hashem, it's not beautiful. It's not words that we say, it's a mindset. To Mekadesh Shem Shamayim means, who's Mekadesh? The guy who's up first is the greatest Mekadesh Hashem. He's saying, look at this world, it's godly, live it, don't miss it. Now like this. This is Olam Haba. I want to spend 2 more seconds on Olam Haba and I'll transfer you to Olam Haba. Olam Haba works like this. And there's a problem in Olam Haba. Olam Haba works, there's 2 types of people. There's the guy who gets up in the morning. My job is to beep. There's a guy who gets in the morning and what he does is like this. They told me I have to line. Everyone's coming in here. Okay. It's a free class. Okay, you didn't pay for it, you're here, you got it anyway. There are people who wake up in the morning and they go to shul because they got to run out of their house. They got to get a house and they go to shul. And then they go to work because they got to go away from shul, they don't want to face Hashem. And then there are people, and they run out of work to their chavrusa because they got to get out of the office. And then they go to the chavrusa and they run home from the chavrusa because they don't want to have to learn, they can't face it. Then there's the other guy. He wakes up in the morning because he can't wait to talk to the Rabbi Shalom. He goes to shul. And after shul, he can't wait to go to his office because he wants to accomplish things and deal with his clients and take care of his people and support his family. Then as soon as work is over, he can't wait to go home to learn with his kids before they go to sleep and read him a story and say Shema with them and tuck him in. Then he can't wait till the kids are sleeping because he can get down, talk to his wife and go over a day with her and relate to her and talk to her. And then when that's over, he can't wait to go to his chavrusa to go sit and learn a little bit and have a little Torah. And then he can't wait to daven Marav. And after Marav, he can't wait to go home. Both people live the exact same schedule. One person experienced 24 hours of being. He experienced his entire chelik elikav that day. 24 hours, he experienced shul, he experienced his breakfast, he experienced work, he experienced his children and his relationship with his spouse and his kavrusa. The other person went through the same thing. But shul was hiding from the house, and work was hiding from shul, and going home was hiding from work, and he experienced nothing. The simple mashal, I use a secular mashal. You have the image of the person who just woke, the girl who broke up with her boyfriend, she's eating a tub of ice cream. So you have two people with a tub of ice cream and a spoon. One person loves ice cream, they go like this, and the other one just broke up, and they're eating ice cream, they're drowning in pain. One person experiences a whole tub of ice cream, the other one doesn't even know they ate ice cream. The ice cream is hiding from tsar. Most people spend their lives as a tub of ice cream. And the tsar and are hiding. Everything is the tool to hide from something else. If you're zoichet to be one of the people who experiences every moment, then that is, you experience your days. But here's the problem with Olam Haba. The problem with let's say I really experience that. Let's say I'm a sholim. I'm that yachid, the guy who wakes up in the morning, can't wait to go to shul. And then can't wait to go to work. Can't wait to go home. I live 24 hours. How much simcha do you feel? So you would think you feel a simcha of 120 years of moments. You don't. See, we live in the world which has makayim and zman. The world is divided in space and time. I don't want to sound too philosophical. It just means that the world is there's today and tomorrow and yesterday and there's here and somewhere else. What do I mean? I mean that at any moment in time, even if I'm being, I'm only being this moment. Right now I'm eating gefilte fish. It's delicious. Then I have my challah and now I'm having soup. Soup's delicious, but the soup is not the fish, and the fish is not the soup. Today I'm in Brooklyn, tomorrow I go to the country. The country has its experience, Brooklyn has its experience. At any moment in time, even if I'm being, I'm only experiencing that moment of being. I use a weird mashal. You go to shul, after shul, you finish davening, you shake his hand, good Shabbos, and then you let go, and I shake his hand, good Shabbos. And the course and I shook 40 people's hands, good Shabbos. The problem is, no, to shake the second guy's hand, I'd let go of the first guy. Because we have space and time, I can only have one experience at a moment. And even though I'm being, I only experience this being. And tomorrow I experience this being. So I go through a life of 120 years of being. I just shook 40 hands in shul. But at any moment I was only connected to one person. So I never really get to experience the Hashem, the existence that I did. I experienced a lot of existences. I've been to almost every state in the United States. I've seen many countries. But in that moment, I was there. And then it goes away. You have memories, but it's not there. So even though we are not really experiencing the truth of our lives, we maybe did experience. We weren't hiding. We weren't pushing the snooze button and pulling the cover of our heads. We were living. We were being. I said my brachas. I made kiddush. I was present. I wasn't hiding from the world. But still, all my experiences go. This world is an olam hasheker because even the things that I felt are gone. Let me tell you what Olam Haba is. And this is what I told you. I'll be able to say it very short and the whole thing will be clear. Olam Haba is the experience of total justice. Olam Haba is the experience of every single one of the experiences of life. If you took your life and you removed the illusion of space and time, so what would be? Every single one of the things that you lived, every experience you had stacked, every single thing that you lived through, all of your moments. You understand what Olam Haba is? Olam Haba is totally rational. Hashem is totality. Your life is a slice of totality. How much of your life you experience is how many moments you were present for. And Olam Haba is, that's why we call it mishpat. It's the Olam Emes. It is totally honest. Whatever you felt, you will feel. Every smile you ever had, stacked. every piece of gefilte fish and soup, and and deeper things, and every chap, and every understanding, and every chesed, and every hug, all one stacked on the other. It's just a total, it's the emes of you. This, you understand why? This is the Olam HaSheker. That's what we should feel. I should be feeling right now all the joy of all my moments. But I'm not, because things go, because I'm not there. I can't be here and there. But space in Hashem, there's no space. And Olam Haba is the experience of the totality of my life. It's a very scary notion. You know why? Because there's no free rides. This is what I said. You have to be brave to get this class. How do you have Olam Haba? How do you have it? You got to do it. Every single thing that you hide from, you have a hard day and you turn everything off and you pull the cover over your head, that day is gone. And in Olam Haba, all those things you could have had are not going to be there. And if you wasted 40 years, but that doesn't mean tomorrow you can't start. We have to start to live. Because forever is a long time, and forever you are going to live off whatever you assembled here. Let me tell you one more deeper thing. You know what Gehenna is? So Olam Haba is the experience of all that you lived. Gehenna is the exact same place. You are going to experience everything that you did, and you're going to see everything that you could have had that you didn't do. And you will live with the eternal tsar of all those things that you could have experienced for everything if I would have been awake, if I would have been there. There is nothing more just than this. This is total mishpat. It is so fair and so perfect. It's not the magical Olam Haba of I do mitzvahs and Hashem gives me points and then I cash it in for goods and prizes. It's you're building your Olam Haba. Your Olam Haba is the experience of your Olam Haza. Hashem is everything, and you're something, and you will experience your something only if you live it. And therefore, the purpose of life is to start to live. And this is a class on what Olam Haba is. And I just gave you part one. I really have. Am I supposed to stop early, or do I have till 9? Who's the boss?
No, 10-2 is the next one.
10-2? So I'm done? Okay, so let me just say this. I'll give you the hint of the next 2 things. This is stage 1 of Olam Haba. After Olam Haba comes Tchias HaMesim, and then the whole world disappears, and we have what's called the Shabbos. The ultimate Shabbos, 6,000 years. Stage 1 is what I describe as Olam Haba, is the stacking of all of your moments. The next stage, after you stack all of your moments, so you are experiencing what? Your life, every single thing you did, and the hakara of every single thing that you could have done, and you didn't do. That's what you have. After that comes something called Tchias HaMesim, which is your entire legacy, your parents and grandparents, because you are not your life isn't just your life, you're a result of if your parents created a safe house, a safe home, so you were brave and you lived a certain way and you had experiences, you didn't hide. And then your children will grow up even more safe because they grew up in a safer home and they're going to have more expansive lives. And if you were cruel and mean and you made your kids feel not safe, so your children will curl up in a tighter ball and they're going to have less experiences. The first stage of Olam Haba and the Olam HaNeshamas is you will experience your life, the emes of your life. Tchias HaMesim is where your entire legacy, from Adam till you, all of the stages of your life, the experience will be of all the moments of my legacy, the truth of my line. And that's the next stage of Olam Haba. The stacking not just of my life, but of myself, my father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, and my children, all those lines, the whole thing. What did we experience? Meaning all the repercussions of my actions, because my actions weren't just what I felt. What I felt contributed to how my children feel, and therefore what they're going to feel. So the true justice is not just to stack my life, but it's stage 2 is Tchias HaMesim is the experience where all of my line will stack all of their lives. And that's the total experience of if I hid and I ran away, I didn't go to work and I didn't do anything, make a parnasa, my children grew up miserable and they were made fun of in school and they decided they hate the whole world and they didn't do anything, so they lose everything. So then the stacking of all that's are. And if I worked hard and I made a house that feels safe, and my children embraced life and they went out and they lived and everything was full of excitement and joy. So then that experience of stacking that family, every door adds infinitely more joy, and that's stacking. And then the final stage of Olam Haba is after the 6,000 years, where all of Knesset Yisrael, the stacking of not just my line, the Chias Mason of my grandparents, which were all of Klal Yisrael, with all the implications they had in each other, becomes one person, one being, where the whole world gets folded and all the divisions disappear. The world gets destroyed metaphorically because it's no longer about the divisions. It's one experience of the stacking of the entire humanity, experiencing all the symphony that we've all experienced together. These are the stages, and that's the Shabbos. This is why when we speak about Shabbos, we call Shabbos Me'ein Olam Haba, because the whole week we work. And Shabbos, we don't create anything. Shabbos, we sit back and we stack all the experiences of our weeks. We eat what we created during the week. We talk about what we learned during the week. Shabbos is a taste where I get to experience all of my little experiences stacked into one little pile. Olam Haba is the stacking of all of the experiences of all the 6,000 years. It's the Shabbos Shabbosoin. May we be zoicha to the strength to embrace the few moments that Hashem b'chasta He gave us, and may we live those moments, and may we create homes where we have children who will embrace those moments even with greater depth, greater innocence and excitement than we did, and may we have grandchildren. May all of our doiros expand in their ability to experience the world, and may we netzach nitzach and Klal Yisrael bask in the Gilui Shechina, the experience of this true, the simcha of this galus, the revelation of the unity of Hashem. May we finally live the words that Klal Yisrael has died with. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. May you all bask in the splendor of the aura of the Echad. Experience that simcha.